Hey everybody, let's make a sexy sweater dress. First thing we're going to do is grab our draping tape and start making our design on the dressing form. Dress form is already preset to the right measurements. And if you have to resize it later, once you make the pattern pieces, you can do that on paper once you transfer it. Alright, I'm about to start draping over here, an inch over. I've made a straight line on the edge of the muslin so that I can keep this straight. And on here I do have markings. They're very light, just for me to see, but it's my quarter measurements. So if my bust is a 34, quarter measurement would be 8.5. So I have the distance between the neck all the way down to my bust, from my bust to my waist, from my waist all the way down to my hips, and then how far down I want it to go. And then I'm going to pin the muslin in place. Using the 1-inch line as a guideline to keep everything straight, I'm just going to go ahead and pin it and make sure I smooth it out really nice when I pin it together. Cut away the excess muslin that you don't need. Okay, now I'm going to just add my bust dart, and I just pinch out that excess fabric, and then I'm also making a waist dart right in the front underneath the apex also, and just putting my darts in place. I'm going to later straighten them out on paper or on the muslin also. Use your scissors to loosen up some of that tension at the top so that you can get a better fit. Alright, I'm using my Sharpie and I'm going to make dots to trace the draping tape that's underneath. Then I'm going to straighten them out and connect all the dots with my rulers later. I'm going to mark the apex, and I am going to mark my darts. Now it's time to drape the back, and I'm doing the same method I did with the front. I have the 1-inch line so I can keep this muslin straight so our dress won't be crooked. Now I'm just pinching the excess fabric to make my back dart. Next step, grab your rulers. Got my curved ruler, and I am going to connect the dots. I'm just gonna do that all the way down. Okay guys, what I should have done, but I just forgot. I should not have included those darts. I should have pinched those darts out, pinned them, and then retraced the whole pattern piece
without the darts or that front seam allowance, because it made my dress a little bigger and I had to go back in and pinch it on the sides and alter it down a little bit. But I did not have to do that had I taken the darts out initially, because I did not need darts because I was working with a stretch fabric.
Oh yeah, don't forget to measure your hip. Make sure your numbers add up. Everything in sewing is about adding up. These numbers adding up.
My 1/2 inch seam allowance around the entire pattern piece.
All right, I went ahead and did the neck piece. So go ahead and put it back on the dress form, closing your darts to see how that baby fits. Whip out your Sharpie and let's mark notches, baby. So we'll know where this thing goes. Mark a notch up there. Okay, I gotta redo that neckline. I made a mistake. I did it from the side. I'm gonna do it from the front for this turtleneck to get me a better fit. So I have to redrape this. We're going to do the same thing for the back, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut it on my fabric. Same thing. Okay, I've draped the front neck piece and the back piece, and I am about to cut them out and pin them up with the rest of everything else, and then I'm going to get to sewing everything. So this one, it was important to drape it from the front, because I tried doing it from the side, but that didn't go right. So this from the front to the back. Boom, let's go. Okay, this is fabric piece number 1. I'm going to lay it face down and cut it out. Then I'm going to fold the other half in and do it with the back piece. So I'm just going to cut these out now. Okay, now for this project, we are going to have a sleeve. So I already have a sleeve that I have drafted before with perfect to my measurements. So if you don't know how to draft a sleeve, go ahead and check out some other YouTube videos. They have some excellent ones out there because I don't have time to do one right now. Or if not, take a sleeve off of an old, use the same type of material. This is like a sweater material, sweater knit material. Use the same type of material, cut the sleeve open and lay it out flat, and you can use that as your pattern.
Cut out sleeves on folded over fabric.
Okay, just as I was sewing this together, I was picking the side apart so that I could put a slit, and then I discovered this. Yes, honey. So I am going to do a little angled side slit. Boom, boom. Now I'm about to put sleeves on and the neck thing, and we're moving along.
Alright, where I pinned it up, I'm just going to take my little angled ruler and my chalk, and I'm just going to trace it up, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut that part off. The bottom of the skirt. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and add our sleeves. So what we're going to do is turn the dress inside out. Then we're going to have the sleeve with the right side out. Then we're going to drop the sleeve inside the dress, match the seams, pin it, and then sew it. Also make sure that you've hemmed the bottom of the sleeve, that little bottom part.
Take the one with the wrong side and place it on top of the one with the right side out. And match the seams. Make sure the seams are facing the same way, so you won't get that bolt, Then you're going to sew right there across the top. I'm just going to put my presser foot right there on the outside and sew right there. Then when we flip it up, you have both the right sides out. Then we're going to connect to the dress finish the hem, and boom, baby. So we can get a good stretch out of this. I'm going to stretch it as I go too. Okay, our next step is with the headband. The turtleneck part. Take only the front half, the front piece, fold it in just a little bit.
Okay, once you do this, you can go ahead and put a small stitching along the bottom, or you can hand stitch it when you're doing thread. There are several ways to do the collar, so do whatever is comfortable for you.
Alright, on this next part, we're going to create a neckband, like for the front of the dress. Like it's a V-neck, so I'm going to make a little collar to go on there. So I'm going to working on the fold. I'm going to take my pattern piece. I am going to lay it face down on the fold, and I'm just going to.
I'm making a thin neckline piece, neckband piece rather, and you can make yours however wide you want. I want mine's pretty thin, and I believe I only made it like 2 inches wide.
Okay, so we're going to take the right sides out. So the right side is out, and then we're going to just pin it, and then we're going to sew right down the side. I did it with a little stretch stitch right down that side. And then we're going to go ahead and put it on the dress. Maybe some loose edges, and that's okay because we're not going to utilize that point of it anyway. Where the outer edge, the raw edges, I want that facing outward, and I want the folded edges folded to, near each other. So we're going to take that, I'm going to go ahead and cut off that bottom part. Then what we're going to do is take these, overlap them just like that, so that you see that a V. Once you see that V, pin it in place. I am going right below here. I'm going to stitch it like that. Not up there where you can see it, just right down here. Alright, hopefully you guys can see that. That's how it's going to look once I put it on the dress. So what I'm going to do is literally just take it right sides together with the raw edges facing up and pin along the side of, the top of the dress. We're going to just do one side at a time. At the V-neck, that edge is a little, you got to make sure you have it centered just right. So let me take it back off, because I'm going to mark it just so I'll know where my center points are.
Once you pin it, then sew it all the way up to the shoulder seam, and then we're going to go ahead and attach the neckband, and that'll cover the back part. Okay, it's sewn on, and then my next step I'll clean it all up on the overlock machine. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the neck.
Okay, so we have our neckband. This is the front part that goes in the front of the dress. What we are going to do is turn the raw edges upward. So basically the raw edges are down. We're going to flip them up. We are going to come over to our dress. We're going to match those seams.
When you put the neckband on, make sure your seams are both facing the same way. Mine are facing towards the back of the dress, because you don't want that side bulk in the neck. Pinning, and then go ahead over to the machine and sew that band down to the dress.
Sew it, and then once you're done, you're gonna flip it out. Then we're gonna clean up all those raw edges with the interlock machine. So match those seams up.
All done, everything is in place. Make sure everything is hemmed, and can't wait to show you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. God bless and thank you.